this game. Mick Collins is doing exceptionally well on Barry Coffey, who's been a terrific danger man for Cork. They're centred of the field. Noel Durkin, of course, he works in the half-forward line, and he's upsetting Cork because he's going at them. And like Michael Fitzmaurice is putting over the freeze when they go at them, and Cork seem to foul. And Kevin McStay has, because he had a very bad start on Niall Cahalan, he's really come right into it, hasn't he?
He kicked a few very, very good scores, actually. Yeah, that's right.
So,
Dave Barry's also playing very, very well for Cork.
He is. Seven Hopkins now.
So it's going to make a very intriguing game.
Okay, gentlemen, the teams are coming back out into the field. The final word, Mick. Can Mayo do it? Is it going to be Cork?
Well, it's going to be pretty close, but I think Cork are just about going to get there.
Sean?
I'd have to go along with because they seem to be able to pick out those points, but the determination of Mayo is something else.
Well, Cork are 2 points ahead on the field. They're 2 points ahead of the panel as well, but it doesn't always work out that way. Let's see what happens in the second half then, as we rejoin our commentator, Joe Canning.
As Dennis Allen makes his way back out, Mayo out already. Cork this afternoon, appearing in their 17th final. Only 4 wins so far, and one of those, of course, in the last century. One of the remarkable stories, really, in the history of the GAA and the 100th finals we've had in football so far. Between the two of them, Cork and Mayo, just 7 All-Ireland wins. Can we explain to any of our viewers outside of Ireland who are not particularly au fait with the rules of Gaelic football, a goal is worth 3 points, or 3 over the bars equals 1 goal. We haven't had a goal so far in this year's final. Will we have one in the second half? Half-time, 2 points between the teams, and it's going to be Cork who will play right to left in the second half, aided by something of a breeze, as Jimmy McGee has been checking out the situation about switches.
Don't see any. The teams will commence the second half as they finish the first. Don't forget Finnerty in the Mayo team, but there are positional changes. Greg Maher has gone full forward on Stephen O'Brien. Now that could be very significant. Finnerty's gone right corner forward on Jimmy Kay, but Greg Maher, the new boy, has gone full forward. He's a high fielder and he could be a trouble spot there. McHale on the 40, so 2 big men and high fielders there for Mayo.
Confirmation of the score at the start of this second half. Sean Maher feeding it forward towards his brother Greg. Drops into the waiting arms, however, of Stephen O'Brien outside towards Tony Davis. Left-footed forward towards John Cleary. Can't quite hold on to it. It's Willie Joe Padden. Up towards Anthony Finnerty. It breaks down into the waiting arms again of Stephen O'Brien. Held as he was trying to make that move out of defence. Kerrigan swiftly forward. Shea Fahy. Dave Barry over there challenging with John Finn. It runs on towards Paul McGrath. McGrath with 2 fine points in the first half. Left-footed inside towards John Cleary. Back to Dave Barry. And wide of the target. The wide situation is rather interesting. Cork with just 3 wides so far in the game. That clearly the first of the second half. Mayo with just 4 wides. And looking through the spread of scores, Cork 10 points to date. Just one of those coming from a free from Larry Tompkins. And of Mayo's 8 points, 5 have come from frees from Michael Fitzmaurice. Here's Tompkins once more. And attempting to do a Dave Barry with the outside of the boot, but it just doesn't come off. Dave, or Larry Tompkins rather, still concerned there, I think, about that left leg. So 2 points the margin. Shea Fahy fouling on one of the Mayo midfielders, free to Mayo. Mayo this afternoon appearing in their 8th All-Ireland final, just 3 wins so far. Here's Tony Davis. Fahy. Once again, the slow and rather deliberate build-up. Kerrigan keeping it moving. Nicely inside to Davis. Fitzmaurice has given chase, trying to get goal side. And Cork have now kicked 3 wides in succession. And we've just got 2 minutes gone in the second half. Cork fans will be a little disheartened. with his players in action this afternoon. Gabriel Irwin appearing in his 4th championship match, taking the kick out. Willie Joe Patton, one-handed, magnificent, he held on to it superbly. And the referee, seeing that there was a push there on Willie Joe Patton. TJ Kilgallen, meanwhile, kicked into space. Teddy McCarthy trying to read it, but it's Liam McHale getting there first, inside towards Anthony Finnerty, and it's Noel Durkin. This is Finnerty. That's a goal. Mayo go in front for the first time in the match. A goal by Anthony Finnerty with their first attack of the second half. The Mayo fans perhaps scenting a victory. This is the move, and Noel Durkin was instrumental in getting there ahead of Jimmy Kerrigan and Vic Slocum. The release outside, and that was a super finish by Anthony Finnerty, his 3rd goal in the championship.
Oh, marvellous goal. Lee McHale made it with a fetch on the far side. Good thoughtful work by Durkin and a brilliant finish.
So Mayo now, with their tails up considerably, confidence boosted, 4 points behind at one stage early in the first half, now 1 point ahead, as that goal was worth 3 points. And the linesman, as Greg Maher advanced down the right side, has his flag raised and the ball was out of play. Joe Woods from the Knoll in County Dublin, judging that the whole of the ball had gone out over the sideline, so it wouldn't have counted. Jimmy Kerrigan taking the sideline ball quickly, and Paddy Collins with a big broad smile on his face saying, hang on you rascal, you can't do that. It's a sideline ball instead for Mayo. The Mayo fans now really soaking up the atmosphere in this cauldron of noise which is Croke Park this afternoon. Max Stay steadying himself. Mayo wondering whether they can bridge nearly 4 decades, 38 years since their last victory. Max Stay, his side a point ahead early in the second half, kicking it in. It's stopped by Shea Fahy. Tigerishly taking it out. There was an interception from Noel Durkin, but it runs favourably for Cork, and kindly onto Barry Coffey, blocked down by superb play by Max Stay again. Willie Joe Patton advancing, menacing, 40 metres outside the goal. Anthony Finnerty trying to swing this right boot to it, and the referee says play on. A favourable position for Finnerty, but he spurns what was a good opening. That was a splendid opportunity, really. Well, he was unable to turn that kind of intent that you can see on the face into the score they so vitally needed. Just 6 minutes into the second half, and that goal has electrified Croke Park. Sean Maher, Mayo really putting it up to the favourites. High and wide again. Mayo's second wide in the second half. 6 in all now. Teddy McCarthy. And the referee saw that McCarthy was fouled indeed by Noel Durkin way back there on the Cork right half back line. This Cork team this afternoon, incidentally, bidding to go into the record books with the likes of Galway, losing 3 finals in succession. This is the run by Teddy McCarthy, and there's the pull down by Noel Durkin. Cork hurlers at one stage in the 80s lost 2 finals but came back. Now can the footballers do likewise? Conversely, can Mayo stay in front? Here's Tompkins, flicking it outside to Cleary, having to come well back into midfield to get leeway, however. That's Barry Coffey, secure catch, but the chase back by Max Stay, running a good 40 metres back again to harry his opponent. Sean Maher, clean catch at the centre of the defence, but then a rather aimless clearance away on that left-hand side, giving possession back to Cork. Superb intenseness there, you can see from so many of the fans. Teddy McCarthy trying now to come into this match a little bit more, and it's Conor Coonahan into space nicely to Dave Barry. Remember, a point between the teams. Dave Barry, and it's the equaliser from Dave Barry with his third point of the match. First of the second half, sides level. On 3 occasions there's been just a point between the teams, and John O'Mahony there, the team manager, who's done so well to take his side to this All-Ireland final, out on the edge there with some words of guidance for his midfielders. Cork, I can tell you, are getting ready to make a substitution on the far side. John O'Driscoll will be coming in very soon. It's an hour of peril for Cork right now. Paul McGrath swinging it across to John Cleary, sides tied up. Cleary trying to put Cork back in front again, recovering from an awkward angle. He's put it over the bar, his second point, and Cork are now back in front as they were at half-time. They were behind for just 5 minutes. This is the pickup again by John Cleary, 13 metres out, and Jimmy Brown was just unable to get tight enough on the Castlehaven man to prevent him swinging over the point. So Cork a point to the good, and it's Slocum outside towards John Cleary, the last point scorer, holding Jimmy Brown, I thought, and the referee, yes, spots it, and it's going to be a free to Mayo. And right now it's John O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll coming in, his 14th championship match. And there's a huge cheer from the Cork fans who were disappointed when he was omitted in the first place, but he was in hospital for 10 days, and that really restricted his training over the last couple of weeks. And I think it's Barry Coffey who may well be the one who's going.
One of the best fielders in the game, Barry Coffey, looks to be making way for another great fielder, John O'Driscoll. Mayo shut down the avenue to Coffey superbly well. Mayo did their homework.
Cork doing the grafting right now at midfield with Larry Tompkins, fouled in possession, 65 metres out from the Cork goal. Remember, there's something of a breeze, not a particularly influential one, but a breeze nonetheless behind them in the second half. It's blowing over Dave Barry's right shoulder as he advanced down there with Michael Slocum, clubmates. And well wide of the target by Dave Barry. I'm not quite sure what he was intending to do there. I don't know if it was an attempt for a point or an attempt to bring in the left corner forward into the action. But remember, just a point separating the sides 10 minutes into the second half. Oh, a poor kick out by Gabriel Lear when it led to a point in the first half. This time Mayo recover. Dermot Flanagan out to John Finn. Mayo will want to see him involved in the action a bit more. A slack clearance comes straight to Teddy McCarthy, alive and alert at all times. Down into the path there of John Cleary, pursued all the way by Jimmy Brown. The Mayo captain bidding to prevent Cork advancing. It's McCarthy again who initiated that move. Well stopped, however, by Gabriel Irwin. Neither goalkeeper severely tested other than that goal that Mayo scored 4 minutes into the second half. Durkin into Anthony Finnerty, who took his eye off it, and that will favour Cork.
One thing Mayo might consider, they should change the kicker for those kicks out, because that's 3 times in the game Aaron has fluffed kick-outs. One you can forgive, 2 maybe, but it's now beginning to be a nervous thing with him, and I would relieve him of that duty.
So it's Davis finding Tompkins, still on the 40. Outside to John O'Driscoll. First chance to impress John O'Driscoll. This is John Cleary. Challenged over there. He holds the ball too long, and it's going to be a free out for Mayo. Noel Durkin, the one who invited the Cork man into the holding error. Liam McHale, that's fisted away from McHale by Conor Coonahan. Reaches Michael Slocum. Jimmy Brown reading it perfectly. Trying to go round Paul McGrath. There's Flanagan into space again. It's that lazy style of McHale. He can be a big influence yet before the conclusion of this match, and a sliding challenge which the referee didn't appreciate. It's going to be a free for Cork. So as they move back in towards defence, Micheál Collins marking Shea Fahy. Quickly taken by Teddy McCarthy, finding Larry Tompkins. Trying to get some space, Willie Joe Padden. McCarthy once again, it runs loose to John Cleary. And that's gone over the bar. An exemplary finish there by John Cleary, his 3rd point of the match. And there's now a 2-point gap again between the sides. And that's more or less as it was at half-time. Cork Cork with the economy of movement that time and full use of the ball at the finish. Well, Gabriel Irwin from Glenamoy in Mayo still taking the kick out. He plays midfield, incidentally, for his club. Some holding by Larry Tompkins into the back that time, I think, of Willie Joe Padden. Micheál Collins takes the free quickly. Liam McHale in a good run. Good move forward. Now can he finish? Yes, he can. McHale, his first point of the afternoon. And a point now, the margin once again. McHale, probably the most talked about member of this Mayo formation, I suppose, alongside Willie Joe Padden, and a good score.
Very gentle player, but a big strong man. He shipped a very heavy challenge en route to goal that time. Many a fellow might have gone down, but he kept going and took this point extremely well. It might just inspire the team to even greater things now.
Dave Barry then, as McHale with that first shot of goal for him, getting the point. And it's Flanagan, John Finn, right-footed to midfield. Again it's McHale, bidding now to dominate. Doing so at the moment. A lovely composed run. Style and panache as well. The direct run forward now by Kevin McStay. A late challenge, however, putting him off his stride and well wide of the target. Mayo with 7 wides, Cork with 6. Cork with a 1-point advantage, Mayo with the only goal so far. Dennis Allen, the player who hasn't scored so far in that Cork attack. Barry Coffey likewise, but he's been replaced. Micheál Collins taking it well. Great composure. This is a lovely build-up by Mayo. Jimmy Brown, Finnerty miscuing, however. He was expecting the ball to drop short. Instead, it was flicked in over his head. And John Kearns and Jimmy Kerrigan, no doubt relieved. Brown, the one who started all of that. Seamus O'Malley in 1936 was a Mayo winning captain, and of course Sean Flanagan in 1950 and 51. I wonder will the name of Jimmy Brown accompany those into the record books. Listen to the Mayo following right now. They might be behind by a point, but they're enjoying themselves. Shea Fahy as the Cork crowd responds down up on Hill 16. Dave Barry, Paul McGrath, burning the chance. Cork fans a little disgruntled by some of the shooting inaccuracy in the second half. 5 wides in all now for Cork in the second half as Mayo get ready to bring in a sub very shortly. Mayo having used up one of their sub options already, and again, if we can explain to those who are not all that terribly familiar with Gaelic games, you can use 3 subs in all in the course of a game. This is Durkin. Jimmy Kerrigan having difficulty controlling, and it's McHale losing control, however, followed by Tony Davis right down along the line. Shot half blocked, it bounces to Sean Maher, 2 metres out. McStay trying to make a darting run through, and the referee says that was a foul. And again, when Cork protested, the referee brought the ball forward, and it's now on the 13-metre line, and this should be the equaliser. Michael Fitzmaurice has kicked 5 so far. This was that last move. See what happened once again. Sean Maher finding Kevin McStay through Conor Coonahan, pushed and knocked to the ground. And Fitzmaurice has the onus of responsibility, thrust in his shoulders again, which he confidently takes. And in casual fashion, he's put over his 6th pointed free to tie up the scores for what is the 2nd time in the match. Mayo fans up there, really now overjoyed by the level of their team's performance. 3-1 outsiders, the bookmakers had them. They believed they were supporting a good team, and it's Willie Joe Padden here who could well inspire them yet. Greg Maher, pushed to the ground but given an advantage. Stephen O'Brien, his marker. Noel Durkin, 45 metres out. Full of intent, finding McHale. There's a player loose inside, that's Finnerty, and a brilliant interception that comes to Sean Maher. Looking for a second goal, blocked down brilliantly by a hard-pressed Cork defence right now. And the ball was scooped on the ground by one of the Cork backs, and it's going to be a free in for Mayo, and they can hit the front once again. Teddy McCarthy looking looking quite disgruntled with himself. But Paddy Collins saw a touch on the ground, but just back a couple of minutes ago, Mayo were menacing once again. A good run forward by Liam McHale, and Finnerty was the player there, but Kerrigan got in the way. It came to Maher, and the block down splendidly once again, and Cork living a charmed existence just now. Fitzmaurice with 6 points so far, and Cork bringing on Michael McCarthy. Michael, who played in last year's All-Ireland final, and Shea Fahy is the one who's been called off. So number 9, Shea Fahy replaced, and McCarthy comes in. He's a corner forward. 18 minutes gone in the second half. Fitzmaurice, sides level. Another well-struck one, and it's over the bar by Fitzmaurice. His 7th gives Mayo the lead once again. That's the amount of time remaining. Everyone, but just about everyone, except for the Mayo fans, said it would be Cork. Cork, who've lost the last 2 finals to Meath. Is it to be 3rd time unlucky? John Kearns with Cork having introduced 2 subs in the second half. And a sideline ball, that'll be for Mayo. John Finn marking John O'Driscoll over on that right wing. Dermot Flanagan, kicker of the sideline ball at a critical stage in the match. Liam McHale blocks it down, the Cork defence freezes, it's Durkin who comes in. Players to aim at, Finnerty is one of them. The driving shot, oh, it's gone screaming across the face of the goal. Well, if Mayo eventually lose this match by a point or two, that might be the moment they'll look back to. That was a glorious opportunity. Finnerty getting possession, and the flashing shot going right across the face of John Kearns' goal. Cork again breathing sighs of relief, collectively. Cork struggling at midfield just now, bidding to get any kind of momentum going in the forwards. And this was the side who led by 4 points in the opening 10 minutes. Finnerty once again from that beautifully directed pass by McHale. Oh, I think he might have gone for a point himself that time, because Greg Maher was not expecting the short ball to come his way. Here's Slocum. There was a push, I think, or was there? Yes, the referee saw a push by Dermot Flanagan on the new man into the Cork attack, Michael McCarthy. So a quarter of an hour, a little less than that, about 14 minutes in fact remaining to decide the destiny of this year's All-Ireland Championship. Slocum taking back that free, which wasn't all that well hit in the first place. Tompkins was calling for it, so was Dennis Allen. Allen with possession, can he give the leadership? He lays it off, inside, and it's gone over the bar. It's a point by Paul McGrath. McGrath's 3rd. So the sides are level once again, and it was Dennis Allen who set up the man from Bishopstown, Paul McGrath. So one wonders, is there to be a winner in this final this afternoon? Mayo have just brought in a sub, and the player who's coming in is Ray Dempsey. Ray Dempsey, who played against Roscommon in this year's Connacht final replay. And he's gone in full forward, been marked by Stephen O'Brien, and Sean Maher is the one who goes off. Maher was also replaced in the semi-final, but then he was injured. So the game very much there for the taking. A compelling championship clash. Micheál Collins there, connecting with Teddy McCarthy. Willie Joe Padden going back into the Mayo defence to pick up Larry Tompkins. Teddy McCarthy at the receiving end of an elbow just a second ago. He's the free taker as well. This is a moment that really is going to test the mettle of both these sides. Mayo, who haven't played in the final before. Cork, who've played in 3 in the last 2 years. That's because of a drawn match last year. Peter Ford struggling to get away from John O'Driscoll. So who's got the greater composure now and the level of commitment in the last 12 minutes? Dermot Flanagan will be the free taker. It's 45 metres from his own goal. Conor Coonahan under it with Greg Maher. It breaks down to Niall Cahalane trying to take the game by the scruff of the neck for Cork. Michael McCarthy rounding Dermot Flanagan. Still Flanagan in pursuit. McCarthy kicking, scoring, and Cork have gone in front once again. A useful substitution by Cork, Michael McCarthy's first point. Cork, who struggled for long passages of the second half. Such was the competitive nature of the Mayo challenge, but they've edged into a one-point lead as Dermot Flanagan was powerless to prevent McCarthy getting in the right-footed kick which sailed well over the crossbar of Gabriel Irwin. Back with the action. So Mayo once again facing into a deficit situation. And Jimmy Brown is fouled as he was going onto that one by John Cleary, and coming in as a sub over there seems to be Danny Cullity. And Danny Cullity is a midfield player, and a player indeed who was born in America, in San Francisco, spent the first 16-17 years of his life there, and he moves into midfield. Larry Tompkins, rather, it's Cleary who's gone. And in the rearranged shape of this team, Tompkins has gone back up into the forwards. Cullity's at midfield. The entire left-hand side of Cork's attack has now been changed. This is Dinny Allen. As he was trying to knife his way through, runs into a stern and committed challenge by John Finn, and the referee says it wasn't fair, and it's going to be a free for Cork. Finn, normally a most polished and stylish defender. Attention still being given as we watch it in replay once again. Finn coming across, and the referee says it was an unfair nudge into the back. I think Finn intended to connect shoulder to shoulder, but Dinny swiveled at the right moment from a Cork point of view, and the result, a Cork free. Cork the leaders by a point, I'll remind you, 10 minutes remaining. Who's got more in a tight finish? Tompkins, 4 points in the first half. Only one of those from a free. And he's fluffed the opening. A miss by Larry Tompkins. Disappointed, etched across the face of the former Kildare player. Larry, who made his championship debut in June 1981, then playing for Kildare against Laois in Tullamore. He lost that day, and he doesn't want to be a loser again this afternoon. Neither does Liam McHale. Superb at midfield. Challenged by Dennis Allen. It breaks down to Paul McGrath, 45 metres out from goal. Is the game going to be won and lost for the next few minutes? Teddy McCarthy flying, it's over the bar. Teddy McCarthy's second point. Cork are ahead by 2 points, and there are now just over 8 minutes remaining.
Yeah, good forceful stuff there by Teddy McCarthy. Just referring back to that Larry Tompkins miss. I think Larry is carrying an ankle injury or a calf injury on his left leg, his pivoting leg, which is obviously affecting him as he kicks on a dead ball. I think I'm right about that. Anyway, Larry has now gone in full forward, which would suggest that he's not as mobile as he'd like to.
So Mayo now having it all to do. 2 points adrift. Can they now respond? That's Ray Dempsey. One young player against another. Stephen O'Brien's his marker. It's with Stephen O'Brien. He won't be 20 until just before the end of December. And it's a free to Cork just outside the 45-metre line, their own. Niall Cahalane the taker. Linking up here with Danny Cullity. Looked right. Played it outside to John O'Driscoll. It was a good move by Cork. It might well have yielded a score. Instead, it's another statistic, a wide. Larry Tompkins, one wonders about the injury situation where he's concerned. No strapping on the legs, you'll note. It's Teddy McCarthy. Dave Barry, and the referee says the ball touched on the ground. It's going to be Mayo. TJ Kilgallen will be the free taker. TJ playing his 24th championship match today. And some holding there by Greg Maher, in fact. Some of the Cork defenders were coming to meet that one. Mention of championship matches reminds me that Dennis Allen today and Willie Joe Padden share something. They are both playing their 34th championship match. But will it be a lucky 34th for Dinny or for Willie? Dermot Flanagan facing his own end line, doing well, extricating himself from difficulty, and backed up by TJ Kilgallen to the pass outside there, quite legally towards John Finn. It's picked up by John O'Driscoll. A searing run forward, and there's no marking inside. Paul McGrath was loose, and for a moment there as well, Michael McCarthy was loose. It's with McCarthy. The turn. Well tackled by Micheál Collins, but it's still McCarthy. And the high angle shot has gone over the crossbar, and Michael McCarthy has picked 2 points for Cork since coming on as a substitute. And this Skibbereen player is delighted with himself, you'd be sure, as he opens up a 3-point gap. So a goal separating the sides, and on my watch, 6 minutes to go. Dennis Allen to Danny Cullity. Cork would seem to have weathered the storm, or are we being a bit previous? McCarthy, no luck with his shooting this time. Here's John Finn to set things moving from left half back for Mayo. Mayo have played some really fine football this afternoon. There was a jersey held, it was Liam McHale, it was being held by Teddy McCarthy, and a substitute, Brian Kilkelly, coming in. Kilkelly's the one who comes in. He's come in each of the last 3 matches for Mayo. He's set up goals and he's scored points in the past. Can he do likewise in the remaining 10 minutes of this match? And it's Greg Maher who's the one who's called off. So the 2 Mahers who started this ended in the dugout. TJ Kilgallen will be the free taker. That's 65 metres out from his own goal. Exactly 5 minutes to go now. Cork ahead by 3. Mayo looking for another score, perhaps a goal. Will it be Finnerty who'll set it up for them? That's neatly inside. Kept going. Fitzmaurice with the final shot, rasping, but wide of the target. Mayo's 10th wide in this match. I come back to a point we made a little bit earlier. When Mayo were ahead and Finnerty was put through, and had he scored that match, would Cork now be 3 points to the good? Willie Joe Padden going, meeting, but not gathering. Instead, it's taken over there by Ray Dempsey. Another substitute in this match, Donny Cullity with possession. Dermot Flanagan was trying to get to the ball that time. I think he was being held. The referee allows an advantage, and it's come eventually as a sideline ball. It'll be a sideline ball to Cork. Indication there of the breezy nature of the afternoon.
Yes, that last point by Michael McCarthy might be the crucial one. The Mayo backs were caught ball watching. Lack of concentration, didn't do the marking job. There were 3 Cork forwards free, and the point ensued from that. Bad defensive play by Mayo. That lapse could be costly.
Still under pressure back there in their back division, and it's John Finn, left half back, gathering with poise, thinking deep into a congested midfield, congested with Corkman, but it's taken by Ray Dempsey, and Ray Dempsey holds. He was fouled by Conor Coonahan, and the Cork defence not yielding any space, and the referee Paddy Collins just handled the game very well, I feel, penalising the Cork defence a further 10 metres. Kevin McStay looks like he's going to be the one to take it. I feel he might well be better used in around the forward line just now, but it's McStay who takes it in any case. A good ball too. McHale is in there, punched, but stopped by Jimmy Kerrigan, and Kerrigan safely gathers. He's fouled, and it's going to be a free out. That was a vital interception by Kerrigan, who made another vital interception earlier in the match when McHale was the one again who was leading the path in on goal. That's McStay's well-driven ball. high. McHale is in there waiting, fisted on, and Kerrigan on positioning. Kerrigan once again, finding Danny Cullity. Cork using their panel well in this second half, and it's Larry Tompkins, who hasn't scored in the second half, I think, so far. High and ambitiously so. He's not going to score on this occasion either. So just under 2 minutes. There's the position. Cork the leaders by 3. Dave Barry fisting it down. John O'Driscoll. Blocked down by Ray Dempsey. It comes to Micheál Collins. This might be Mayo's last hurrah. They've got to engineer some scores quickly. 3 points behind. Jimmy Kerrigan steps into the breach, however, and says, "Thou shalt not pass." It goes down towards Paul McGrath, fisted away by Jimmy Brown, and it's going to be a Cork sideline ball.
Paddy Collins has refereed this game with understanding and good sense, and he has played as much a part as the 36 players in making it one of the best All-Ireland football finals in years.
As Larry Tompkins hones down on goal once again, misdirecting the shot, however. John O'Driscoll's across there with John Finn of Mayo. Finn doing superb. Well caught by John Finn. Dermot Flanagan and Peter Ford to launch another attack. Mayo need a goal if they're to stay in the championship. Slocum. Paul McGrath finding Niall Cahalane. Could he score? What a cheer there would be if he were to do so. And he keeps the ball down the Mayo end of the field. That's about the best we can say about the final shot. John O'Mahony hasn't given up by any manner of means. We're into the last minute, however. John Prenty, the secretary, there too, rousing their team. But Cork, it would seem, are poised to pick up their 5th All-Ireland title. Dinny Allen, Larry Tompkins, trying to get onto the left boot. In fact, it's the right boot eventually, and it screws inside towards Gabriel Irwin. A man outside, and that's Dermot Flanagan. And this really has to be the last attack from Mayo's point of view. Willie Joe Padden is beaten. Mayo looking a little disjointed in the last few minutes. Cork pressing home their advantage. Teddy McCarthy holding it up. Teddy, who scored 2 points so far in the game, fails to add to his tally. Teddy, who's buzzed around well at midfield, given a lot of leadership, and there it is! Cork are the All-Ireland football champions! For Billy Morgan's men, the Odyssey ends in some style. The Taoiseach there, I'm sure, will be one of those people who will salute the Cork team. Cork fashion a victory over Mayo. In the end, there were just 3 points between the teams, but Mayo made Cork fight every step of the way in what was a memorable All-Ireland final. And for Billy Morgan over there and the Cork selectors, the end of a long quest for honour. They win the All-Ireland final. Final score, Cork 17 points, Mayo 1 goal and 11. So the Cork side beaten, and Coleman Corrigan is there with Dr. Con Murphy and John O'Mahony shaking the hand of Billy Morgan, courteous and gracious in defeat. And Morgan this afternoon, very much King Billy, I'm sure. The cup is going to Cork. The side beaten in the last 2 finals has atoned convincingly in the end there. Cork bring back the Sam Maguire back to Leeside for the first time. It'll be in 16 years. That's the county's 5th All-Ireland win. 1890, 1911, 1945 and 1973 when Billy Morgan was goalkeeper and captain. Today he's the team manager. It was 3rd time lucky for Cork.
Well, no one can begrudge Cork. That's no one with any feeling for the game or for sport. 3rd time up for the final. And this Cork team really had to prove themselves today to be accepted as the very good team they are. Maybe now they're on the verge of greatness. There's their coach, Billy Morgan, who for so long has preached the gospel of playing constructive, thoughtful, attacking football, and at last the ultimate reward. Well done, Cork. They played well. For a time they seemed to lose their way, but when the time was crucial, they came back to it in midfield, and the wily old heads and the young blood as well, combining for the Sam Maguire victory. Mayo lost the game, but that's all the Connacht champions lost, because they contributed enormously to the occasion.
So Dennis Allen coming up to receive Sam Maguire, a Cork success that ends so many barren years at senior level. Liam Mulvihill with his congratulations, and the patron of the GAA, Dr. Dermot Clifford, as well. Cork, who've done so well at underage level down the years, but somehow bridging that gap between underage teams and senior proved very difficult until now. Congratulations from John Dowling to Dennis Allen, a player who announced his self-imposed retirement 12 months ago following the second All-Ireland final defeat in a row, but he came back, captained the side, and it's his day.
Archduke Horcombe and Luke Lascale, Agada Carja, Bowalam, Moko Garja Gawal, Leferin Cork again you, Vishian Gosarwa, August Tom Anvuik, Lesh Mahori, a Glockford is on Cliha Heavy again. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure and my great privilege to congratulate Cork on winning the All-Ireland Senior Football title here today. They have excelled here in 3 years of All-Ireland finals, and it is only fitting that they should be rewarded today. I want to equally thank and congratulate the men from Mayo for the part that they have played in a wonderful sporting All-Ireland here today. Let us show our appreciation of Mayo and for the manner in which they have played. I also want to thank a number of people, our referees, our linesmen, our umpires. I also want to say thanks to all who helped in any way to make this such a wonderful occasion. Particularly, may I thank you, our supporters, and to the RTN Boys Band for a wonderful occasion. Arish, Pogorjikas Corky, Agadanish, and Curran Sam Maguire, Dennis O'Halleen, Captain Freeman Corky.
Moment in a year of brilliant memories as the Munster and League champions Cork complete the clean sweep. Dennis Allen with the team delighted on the steps of the Hogan stand. Sam is going back to Leeside.
Uachtarán, Áras-Big, agus a Carda. Tá an ásaram, Sam Maguire i Dlacha, agus a Hógarash, go Corky tar éis, Shady Agriel. Supporters of Cork and supporters of the GAA games, it's a great honour for me as captain to accept the Sam Maguire and take it back to the banks of the league after 16 years. This present team knows how Moses felt when he wandered in the desert looking for his promised land. I'd like to thank, there's a lot of people that motivated us over the year. Some so-called reporters that kept knocking us, some so-called people in the crow's nest up there, but ye people out there are the people that kept us going. I'd like to thank Bob Holohan, Mick Farr, Sean Murphy, Dave Lukeman, and last but not least, Billy Morgan. Billy Morgan never stopped believing that there was an All-Ireland in this team, and it was his belief for the last 3 years that kept this panel of players going, and it's due mainly to him that we are accepting this cup here today. I'd like to thank our masseurs John Kidd Cronin and Frank Hogan and our team doctor Con Murphy. I'd like to thank the Mayo team for the great hockey display today. They'll have to take consolation in looking at the Cork team, where this is our third year, they have to take consolation out of that. And to the Mayo supporters, tis now your team needs you in a defeat. They need you now more than if they won the match. So remember that, please, the Mayo supporters. Lastly, I'd like to thank our whole supporters. We've put you through a lot of frustration over the last 16 years. I hope to God today makes up for that. And I'd like to have 3 cheers now for Mayo. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip.
So Dennis Allen then, a very proud moment for him. A place in the record books. But more importantly, the cup going back down south. And a very generous tribute there to Mayo and the superb part they played in this afternoon spectacle. It really was a memorable game of football, very sportingly contested. Teddy McCarthy and Michael McCarthy, there his namesake. Conor Coonahan, he captained Cork 2 years ago. That's Paul McGrath. And Dave Barry there, he has won an All-Ireland. And John Cleary, Tompkins, it was all worthwhile. And I think a moist eye there, yes. John O'Driscoll and Shea Fahy, all of whom played their parts, and Tony Davis, who had a fine game at left half back. Danny Cullity, then moving down through some of the substitutes, Dennis Walsh there and Owen O'Mahony, and they've all come up to substitute goalkeeper Michael Maguire rather. Tony Nation was the captain, and John Kearns, a fine goalkeeper, and finally there's Stephen O'Brien. Mick Burns there from Castlehaven, one of the subs as well. And it's fitting that they all came up to share in what was a glorious moment, a moment they're always going to remember. And so the Cork fans surround their team. The team will have as much difficulty getting into their dressing rooms after all of that. But it was a day they certainly enjoyed, and a match we hope that people everywhere have enjoyed and enjoyed with us. And at that point we're going to say farewell to our viewers on Channel 4 with the news that Cork are the All-Ireland football champions from Croke Park in Cork, Dublin.